Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. One of the most prominent recent FUD pieces against XRP and the XRP ledger is the argument that banks and businesses will never use XRP. Many people have been saying recently that Ripple no longer works with banks and other large institutions. This means that there is no incentive for large financial institutions to adopt or hold XRP. In this video, I will outline my position on the issue and provide an argument for why you should reject this idea. In my opinion, this is a very creative thesis. There doesn't seem to be much interest in this topic. Please don't leave before we've finished talking, because getting it is so important. It appears that whenever the price of XRP rises or falls, a new wave of critics emerges with a new set of baseless claims. Recent reports that Ripple has reversed course and will no longer work with the world's major institutions are among the most noteworthy I've heard recently. Ripple has abandoned its previous plans to partner with financial institutions. None of these institutions will ever have access to XRP either. For this reason, I'll begin by responding to the first question: is Ripple moving away from banks? I find it odd that you should bring this out because, in my opinion, Ripple is dealing with banks more than before. More than 10 national central banks are currently working with Ripple in an open capacity. It has been brought to our attention by the CBSE team at Ripple that they are currently engaged in development initiatives with 20 additional central banks. Here, you can see that roughly 30 national central banks work with Ripple. Only 117 national central banks are operational as of this writing. As a result, a wave is still developing at about 20% of the world's central banks are CBC product partners. There is no doubt that Ripple is working directly with the largest banks on the earth, therefore I don't know why people assume that they are turning away from banks when they see stuff like this. In addition, understanding how banks function is essential. The approval of the central bank is necessary for Ripple's cooperation with regional financial institutions. Each of these diverse ecosystems is the largest financial institution. Central banks are the primary issuers of assets. Therefore, Ripple must start from the top, which is true only of central banks. Knowing this is critical because Ripple is working with 20% of the world's central banks, suggesting it is deeply embedded in the world's greatest institutions. Many individuals nowadays just do not give this problem the attention it deserves. People see Ripple collaborating with money transfer firms and other initiatives and conclude that banks must be left behind. A short review of Ripple's current client list, however, reveals the extent to which it continues to work with major organizations. First, I'd like to say that the progress that Ripple is making with these central banks is remarkable, and I think it's easy to disagree. To add to my confusion, there are many who insist this is not the case. My next topic of discussion will be the potential adoption of XRP and the XRP ledger by large institutions like banks. First and foremost, it is claimed that major financial institutions will never use open XRP, preferring instead to rely on the XRP ledger side chains. That, too, is not genuine XRP. That, in my opinion, is an excellent place to begin. The truth is that many of these massive financial establishments, governments, and central agencies won't use the public XRP ledger. It defies all reasoning. Why would you want your company dealings to be open to the public? It makes no sense to do such activities on a public ledger. Several of these central banks will use forks of the XRP ledger. Even the fact that there will be private variants that can connect with the open XRP ledger makes me optimistic about their long-term viability as a medium of exchange for the general public. And I still think they use the open XRP ledger to transact in several currencies and assets. Connectivity is the key to the internet's usefulness. It requires interoperability with many infrastructures. Having a public and accessible presence is also vital. The point isn't to create these sort of fortified communities. Although central banks may keep their assets separate from the public ledger, I believe that they will eventually touch it because that is where all the liquidity is. The fact that we have already locked down our database is a major technological advance. There are already banks using centralized systems. Therefore, the bank's usage of private ledgers lacks originality. This is essentially equivalent to their current practice. However, the true breakthrough is the public ledger, which is made possible by the new technology in the back end. The public ledger is the true game changer. So, what I'm saying is that even if they build websites and other services on these private ledgers, a considerable amount of value will eventually shift to the public ledger. Understanding how these financial establishments and banks operate is also vital. There are already a big number of these sizable banks and institutions that hold a dizzying array of assets with wildly varying degrees of risk. These financial institutions and banks hold a significant amount of junk bonds. Garbage bonding is a direct translation. It's just a mountain of debt, plain and simple. They keep it because it generates income and is a useful byproduct of their investments. But I don't see why some people say they'll never own crypto. In light of the fact that major financial institutions hoard assets like trash bonds, it is clear that the cryptocurrency industry is still in its infancy. They are extremely risky and speculative. However, as time progresses, institutions' perspectives on these assets will shift significantly as they evaluate them based on their benefits. They're going to analyze them to see if there's any way to get a harvest out of them. These financial organizations are actively seeking yields in severely risky regions. Only junk bonds have been briefly discussed here, there are many others. As time goes on and cryptocurrencies improve, it will become apparent that they are superior investment vehicles to many of the ones these institutions are utilizing now. Combine the data I just presented with our prior conversation about how Ripple is working with some of these massive organizations, including some massive banks, to create private payment systems based on the XRP ledger. What kinds of assets are institutions likely to explore if they decide to invest in cryptocurrencies and utilize them as financial products in the future? XRP stands to reason to be on the top of their priority list. After building private XRP payment rails, why would they put money into risky securities like Solana? Without a question, XRP from Ledger will be at the top of their list. XRP is now being included alongside the world's largest companies, wealthiest individuals, and most innovative and liquid companies on the Ripple ledger. This is important to grasp because it is being used in the foundation of various cryptocurrency projects being built for the retail sector. They're trying to block the major donors from contributing. They're trying to obstruct governmental bodies. They're making an effort to cut off our country's established banking system from participation. Ripple instead approaches these gamers and offers to make them anything they wish. When you're ready, you can start trading XRP on the public ledger. I think this is particularly puzzling to folks because they are trying to imagine how XRP would function in tandem with these institutions. They are trying to pinpoint how these major institutions and payment processors will link up with the public XRP ledger. However, it really doesn't make a difference in the long run. You need just argue that blockchain technology and the digital assets of public ledger will be important in the long run. Then, investigate which company is most open about putting XRP next to actual currency. In my opinion, the answer is quite clear. As these organizations work together to update their payment systems and optimize their processes, they will also be actively monitoring the digital asset ecosystem. In my opinion, it's not hard to predict that XRP will be one of the most heavily considered digital assets by these establishments. Everyone seems to agree that the digital assets held by these institutions will be secure, regardless of whether or not it is a worry that they hold XRP. And I think they're being pitched XRP as a digital asset they'll want to own. They'll look at what Ripple has done and model their own payment systems after it. They will take a look at what Ripple has done to establish transparent monetary systems and say we're going to trust in XRP. It's clear that Ripple is making a positive impact, and that XRP may be used to many different good uses. The XRP cryptocurrency should be made available for investment. Many people only think about its practical use. There is a lot of focus on the network at the moment. While I agree that the aforementioned factors are crucial to the growth of digital assets, I also think it's important to keep in mind the speculative nature of these investments. In fact, a recent analysis found that 85% of the price increase in digital assets can be attributed to speculation. The major organizations have been engaging in this practice for quite some time. They speculate in the bond, money, and debt markets and will soon enter the digital asset market. To me, it's very clear that major financial institutions will bet big on XRP because of its promising future as a valued digital asset. However, this is not the same as saying that these organizations will never use XRP, rather, they will use private ledgers. Just sitting here chuckling to myself. As Ripple creates these next-generation payment systems for the world's largest financial institutions, those institutions will have little choice but to diversify their holdings into things like XRP and possibly even begin interacting their private blockchains with things like the public XRP ledger. And I think we all know where the price of XRP will go when money pours in, so when I say XRP will skyrocket, I mean it. While most other cryptocurrencies are working on consumer-facing initiatives or on fee-based or decentralized solutions that no financial institution would ever adopt, Ripple is working with large institutions to create what they want, all while keeping XRP nearby for potential future applications. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.